everyone. So I'm going to try and make this video as fast as possible so you don't have to listen to me very long. I'm going to go through this example that kind of goes through how you create a box plot and some information you need that is important. Everything else that has to do with the 1.3 Day 2 notes, you can look at the answer keys if you want to fill out or do the examples on your own and check to see how you did with the notes. And then I will also highlight a few things that are important. Okay, so for this example, I did put in 20 data points on the dot plot. So if you want to pause this video and copy down the dots to help you, that would be a good idea. So I'm going to go right into this and calculate the median. So when we have a box plot, we're going to need 5 different numbers. And the very first number we need to find is the median. So since I have 20 data points, I'm going to know that the median is going to be after the 10th data point. So if I count out 10 data points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's going to be right after that 10th data point where I drew that line. So I know the median is going to be at 68. This is going to be known as my quartile 2, my median. Then I need to find quartile 1. That's what Q1 is. Q1 is the median of the lower half. So median of lower half. So if I know that my data points are my first 10, I basically need to find the median after the 5th data point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is going to be right where my blue line is. So my Q1 is going to be at 65. Okay. Try on your own to see if you could do Q3, which means the median of the upper half. So you're going to do the same thing I just did, but with the median of the upper half information. Did you find it to be 70.5? Because if you found the 5th data point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the left, you actually know it's going to come right after that 71, so you should find that Q3 is 70.5. Okay, so I'm going to actually write that down here, 70.5, 65, 70.5. My maximum number is 74, and my minimum number is 63. So when I create a box plot, I'm going to create in a box that boxes in those 3 middle numbers. So at Q1 at 65, I want to draw a line for Q1. I'm going to draw a line at the median, which is 70.5. And I'm also going to draw a line, my median was 68. My apologies. 68, and then I'll draw my median line at 68. So I create the box with 3 lines going from Q1 to Q2 to Q3. So this is actually known as my IQR. So my IQR is when I actually find that 50% of the data, because you would take your Q3 and you would subtract your Q2. So in this instance, I would take my 70.5 and subtract my 65. That is what goes inside the box. So all of that, don't draw inside the box. I'm just showing you where that is. Okay, and then you're going to draw your whiskers out to your mins and your maxes. So my minimum is 63, so I draw my whisker out to 63. And my maximum is 74, so I draw my other whisker out to 74. Now, that kind of answers the next question. The interquartile range, or IQR, is defined as Q3 minus Q1. Find the IQR. That's what I drew in red. So you don't have to draw that in red, but that's where you actually see it in the box. So if you were to calculate it, you would do your 70.5, subtract your 65, and you would find out that the IQR is 5.5. So it's a single number that we can help describe spread. So single number for spread. Okay, so that's how you basically create a box plot. You're done. The only thing you have to be careful of is if there are outliers. So if there are outliers, that's going to mean if the numbers are too big or too small. If they are outliers, we are going to use asterisks to represent outliers. So the way, it's a calculation. So the calculations are written right here. We would take Q1 and subtract 1.5 times the IQR, and we would also take Q3 and add 1.5 to the IQR. If anything falls below, then it's considered an outlier. So falls below this, it would be an outlier. Or if it was above this one, then that's an outlier. So in our data point, or excuse me, our example data, Q1 is 65. I would subtract 1.5 times my IQR. My IQR is 5.5. So when I do 65 minus 1.5 times 5.5, that's 56.75. Is any of my data below 56.75? No small outliers. Okay, then I do the same thing for above. Now I do Q3, 70.5. I add that to 1.5 times my IQR. Oops, that should have actually been 5.5 when I wrote that in. So 70.5 plus 1.5 times 5.5 is 78.75. So are any of my data points above that number? No. So here we have no outliers because there are no numbers that it would have to be less than 5.65 or greater than 78.75 to be considered an outlier. So if you have outliers, what you're going to do is actually draw little asterisks on your box plot, and your whiskers will not touch outliers. Okay, so for instance, let's pretend I added in a data point 55. No, you can't even get that on this dot. 78.75, 56. Okay, let's pretend I added in data point 79. So all I would do is put a little asterisk, look up to the box plot, put a little asterisk where that 79 is, but my whisker would stay touching the next highest number that is not an outlier. Okay, so outliers are done with asterisks, and the whiskers do not touch outliers. Okay, so that pretty much goes over everything. When you want to go through the notes, I don't think you need a video to kind of go through these. The only thing I would say is when you do your comparisons, the good thing to know is that now we have IQR, so IQR is going to be our measure of spread because we have our center at the median. So the thing I wanted to highlight is last class we talked that when you had mean, you're going to use standard deviation as your measure of spread, and now if we talk median, we're going to use IQR. You could still use range, but IQR is a good one to use if you have a box plot. Okay, so lots of notes to see when you actually look at the answer keys here, lots of examples to do. I'm trying to see, I'm kind of going through my answer key to see if there's anything I want to highlight, making sure to note. But not really. Really, the rest of these notes are just examples for you to try. So these are really good examples. If you have time left in class, try these, pick a few to try, check the answer key on them. But there's not a whole lot of more information that you need to know that isn't listed in the answer key. So definitely fill in the notes for this page right here, okay? You just don't need a video for it. And then for the rest of the pages, those are just examples for you to try with a few notes here and there. Okay, so good luck. Let me know if you have questions. And this is the last thing we are actually doing this unit. So next class we will be reviewing, and the class after that is your test. All right, have a great long weekend, everyone. Bye.